I'm somebody who's like, oh yeah, I'm not male centered. And then it's like, once I get a crush, it's like, oh my gosh. Hi guys. Today we will be talking about how to navigate a crush 101. Coming from someone who has suffered with limerence. So I think around like my senior year, I started to navigate having a crush. I realized that every time I would have a crush, I would go into this obsessive cycle that was so toxic. I quite literally wanted to just just get into a ball and hide in my room all day. Um, Thinking back on it now, it is pretty sad that I it just could have so easily been avoided. But um, I just kind of wanted to come on here and talk about this because my entire senior year, I just graduated about a month ago, and my entire senior year, I was really, really like at the beginning of senior year, I told myself, why is it that every time I get a crush, every time that I like somebody, and let's say they like me back, I avoid them? Or why is it that every time I get a crush, I, imagine them in my head, make them this perfect person, and then I just get so heartbroken when they don't get to pay attention to me, and I put so much attention, so much power to this person. I almost put them like on this pedestal. And my brain, no matter how much I tried, it would always go there. And I knew there was an underlying reason, an imperative lesson that I had to learn, but also an underlying reason to why my brain just resorted to this. So, I'm going to share to you a year's worth of advice that I wish I could have given myself a year ago. Being attracted to someone is not a crush. And let me let me explain this to you how I had to kind of explain it to myself. So, hallway crushes, gym crushes, everything that you hear, like book crush, like just all this stuff, it's all kind of a breeding ground for limerence. You don't really know somebody random from the gym. You just think they're attractive. A hallway crush is quite literally somebody you just pass by in the hallways on the way to class. You don't know them. So how can you like them? If we're going by the definition of crush is liking somebody, it's just not going to work. But there's also this viral like quote that people say online: a crush is just a lack of information. So I think that people get crushes and liking somebody confused. So for the sake of this video, we're just going to call it liking someone, not a crush, okay? But liking somebody is completely different from finding somebody attractive. And I think a lot of us can kind of get it confused. At least I know I did. And I thought that having a crush or liking somebody was having this like, oh my gosh, like I already know you, like I just know we're meant to be. You don't know this person. You're not meant to be. They probably don't even know your name. Why are you even putting them on this pedestal? They could be a horrible person for all you know. And I think also like when people say, "Oh, I'm going to like manifest my crush." It's a very like toxic. I don't want to say toxic, but it's a very like delusional way of thinking, because you can manifest a lot of things in life, but a random person, it's kind of like, I don't know. I feel like you can manifest a certain type of person, but with manifesting, you have to believe that you are a person that is deserving of that. And that is where I kind of went wrong. That is where I kind of misunderstood what manifesting someone or anything in life really meant. When you want to manifest something, it's more of like you want to manifest um, a, a value or a moral in life. You want, like, let's say your goal is to lose weight. If you lost 50 pounds right now, would you know to maintain it? No. You have to learn that through losing weight. Losing weight is just a byproduct of becoming a disciplined person, which is pretty much the reward. So when it comes to manifesting someone, you have to believe and you have to have that love for yourself, right? When with losing weight, it's like the discipline. With manifesting a certain person in your life, it's becoming that certain person in your life. Um, I unfortunately learned it the hard way, but a lot of crushes and what we think are crushes are really just a projection of what we want in life, or a projection of what we want in life, or what we feel like we can't give ourselves. So we kind of put that onto somebody else and expect them to do it. So that was me going on a little side tangent. But once you've identified this crush or this liking on somebody, here are some symptoms that you're actually experiencing limerence, not actually really like them. If you can't stop thinking about them, which is kind of like a like it can be very like deceiving, because you would think that you can, like, of course you're a crush, I'm going to think about them all the time, but sometimes it's an unhealthy amount. And I think if you're watching this and you know what I'm talking about, then you are definitely thinking about them too much. If you're like, oh yeah, I think about them a lot, then you're probably falling into this category. But anyway, um you feel insecure around them. So when you feel like you're like, oh, belittling yourself, and they're not even doing anything. They're not even doing anything to make you feel that way, yet you still feel that way. Right. Analyzing everything good about them. So you analyze every single little good thing about, you're like, wow, they are this and that, and they have everything that I want. They have the grades I want. They have the music taste I want. They have the shoe collection I want. They have the style I want. They, like, just, it's kind of an admiration, you could say, but it's really you analyzing and kind of projecting onto them. Or they just have a lot of things that you like, and you're like, if you're experiencing these things while liking somebody, it's most likely limerence. And I'll tell you why. Because it's these like reasons that I'm listing out are things that I felt whenever I had a crush. A lot of the time when I was real with myself and I sat down and I really looked at each of these little things that I was doing, and I really analyzed what I was looking at and what I was interested in, I realized a lot of it was a projection of what I wanted. And also, when I was imagining myself with this person, I would I would imagine a lot of the things that I felt I was undeserving of. I was imagining, having somebody that loved me unconditionally. And the thing is, I was right here this entire time. Like, girl, you, that teenage boy isn't going to give you that. She's right here. She's right. She's right here. But of course, it took a year's worth of unpacking feelings to actually, like, it took me like all of senior year to realize that when you know you're going through this process, and when you realize you're like, oh shoot, what am I doing? I'm crazy. And this is how I felt. I was like, you're crazy, Jennifer. You literally are insane. I don't know who you are. I'm somebody who's like, oh yeah, I'm not male centered. And then it's like, once I get a crush, it's like, oh my gosh. And I'm not male centered. Like, I hate, I mean, I hate talking about boys, but like, it's like not something I want to be thinking about 24/7. Obviously, if whoever is watching is going through that same experience, that's okay. I know. how you feel. I have been there right beside you. First thing you want to do, stop. Stop everything you're doing. Stop. Stop thinking about them for this moment right now. Stop. Whoever you have in mind right now, stop. Okay? And I'm going to say bluntly because I wrote it down bluntly and I don't know how else to say it without saying it. You're insecure. And maybe some of you already know this. You're seeking validation in someone else rather than yourself. You are seeking validation in someone else rather than yourself. When I told myself that, I was like, or when I like came to that realization, I was like, oh, they're just freaking cute, bro. It's an innocent crush. It's not an innocent crush. It's comfortable. But most of this journey about crushes, surprisingly, was more of like a awakening of who I have become and how unhappy I was with myself. I think that sometimes crushes are comfortable with a lot of people and they're very normalized, and it's normal to have a crush, especially as a teenager. But it's also a kind of tedious line because it can very easily turn sideways. And because we're teenagers, because we have our hormones, we don't really know. A lot of the times we overlook what we are thinking about a certain person, and sometimes it can be even harmful, like to the person, or it can be harmful to this person because then you put them up on this pedestal, and sometimes you expect stuff out of them. And I don't mean it like as in like you expect them to treat you like a queen when they don't even know you, but it's more of like for example, I had a crush on this boy who would play tennis, and he was starting out. His like group of friends like played tennis, but he was like the newer guy. I had the biggest crush on him. I started to like pay attention to him, and I think it was because I was like talking to one of my friends, and I was like, oh my gosh, I've never had a boyfriend before. Like, I need to get over this fear, and I need to just get a boyfriend. You know what? I'm going to choose this guy because he's nice, he's smart, he's intelligent. Like, he's just this guy that's like not really known. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to set my eyes on him. I'm going to compliment him today. And so I kind of like, it started as a joke. His group of friends would play tennis, and my friend would play tennis too with her boyfriend. So her boyfriend was a part of the group, and I like remember like telling her like, oh, can I join? And she was like, of course. Like, she's so good at tennis. So I joined, and one day I played with like all the group, and he wasn't there, but I played with the group, and it was all fun and games. And towards the end of the like session, and he showed up. I knew from there on out that he would show up to play with them. So every time I went to go play tennis, I was looking forward to see him. But that same little innocent thought that I had started to turn into every match of tennis that I would play with my brother or my friend would be me looking over my shoulder to see if he's here, or looking over my shoulder. If I would see his friends, I'd be like, oh my gosh, he's gonna show up, he's gonna show up. It would be the only thing in my head. And there was an instance where he did show up one day, and I saw him playing tennis with his friends, and it was in another court. And I had walked past the court and didn't look at me. I passed by again, and I think I purposely passed this time so that he can see me. This is how delusional I was. So that he can see me, and doesn't even bat an eye. And I remember feeling so disappointed. I don't even really know this guy. Like, so why am I so disappointed? Why can't I enjoy this simple game of tennis? That was the moment I realized that I was going insane. I think I cried that night, not because of the guy, or not because he didn't bat an eye at me. It was more because I was realizing that this crush had gone too far. And it was more of like a, oh my gosh, the reason why I can never have a normal crush on someone is because I don't like myself. I've said that jokingly throughout this video, but I seriously had to admit the fact that I didn't like myself. Sit with those feelings of self-hatred, because the only way out is through. Sit with those feelings of self-hatred is my first step. Sit with them. I wrote in this journal, I think pretty much everything I hated about myself. I wrote everything I wanted to fix. I just sat with it. It might not take a day, it might take a week, because a lot of these negative thoughts are stuff that we don't even realize we're doing. So I'd recommend taking like a week or a couple days. I mean, for me, it only took a couple of days to journal down everything that I was feeling, everything that I told myself. Listen or read self-help books or podcasts. I cannot stress this enough. You are unfortunately not gonna find it within yourself to figure yourself out. You're not, it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to ask for help. Maybe you don't have enough money for a therapist, but you can listen to a little podcast, or you can, read something that's going to change your mindset. This one specifically is kind of like a self-help book, but it's also like how to live your life in an effective way. And there are other books I'll link some down below that I have been wanting to read, but like the 4 Agreements. I'm just looking at my bookshelf over here. The 4 Agreements, Think and Grow Rich, Atomic Habits, Healing Through Words, the Law of Success, Set Boundaries and Find Peace, You Are a Badass. That one, You Are a Badass. I read that book in starting high school. Changed a lot. And then some other helpful books that make you just smarter, like Becoming by Michelle Obama. Read self-help books, please. They actually help, okay? If you cannot get a therapist, which I really wanted to do my senior year, but to talk about limerence and all that stuff, unfortunately I couldn't. But self-help books are the way to go, and like I said, I will link some below. Obviously they're not, this is not medical advice. If you're actually feeling like you're having mental issues that are overpowering, please go seek medical help. And I'll even link some resources below. But the first step is acknowledging it. The first step is admitting it and accepting it. So, aside from discovering ourselves, build hobbies. Build hobbies that you genuinely love to do. Do stuff that if you want to go freaking read a book in the middle of a park with your earbuds in, with a matcha by your side, and be performative, be freaking performative. Go and do it. If your dream, or if your ideal day is to just sit in bed, you want to sit in bed and just crochet, do it. Do a little passion project. Make a big freaking blanket for, I don't know, to gift to somebody or to gift to yourself. Take a dance class. If you want to take a dance class, take a freaking dance class. If you want to join an art competition, join an art competition. And when you explore those interests that you truly love, you're preparing yourself for who you're becoming. When you stop listening to the crowd and you start doing the stuff that you truly love, you start building someone who will have that successful career. It's like in the beginning when I said it, like when I was talking about the weight stuff, like you will build that beautiful life. You will find that person when you become that person. Journal. I think journaling helps me a lot. I journaled so much. I had to talk to somebody, and I would talk to friends about it. I had a really good friend. Her name's Maddie. She is so amazing. She taught me what it was to like somebody. Like, she taught me that you can like somebody without being so obsessive, and I couldn't understand it. Like, but even like her, people like her have gone through that same process of trying to discover themselves and realizing they're putting this person on a pedestal. So it's okay. Journal, build hobbies, read self-help books, and sit with yourself. Okay, I'm going to talk about something else. And this might not apply to everybody. I don't know how this is going to come out, but jealousy. My only solution, other than obviously working on yourself, and this is something that really helped me, is to see them with love. Admire, but don't analyze. What do I mean by that? What do I mean by see them with love? Remember that they're just a human being, just like you. It's their first time on earth too. They're just a human like you. They don't have any magic superpowers. They actually don't have anything that you don't have. Even, let's say, for example, my crush. He was so good at calculus. And low-key, I was jealous. I was like, oh, I wish I was good. I wish I had that natural talent. You actually have the talent. It's work. It's work ethic. It's not talent. It's work. It is the work put behind the hours of studying. I can only imagine how much he studied for his quizzes, how much he focused on the lessons, and I saw how much he engaged with the teacher. He would ask questions. It was in you, but you were too scared to ask a question. You were too scared to study for 5 hours because you were like, oh, bro, I'm not even going to understand this anyway. It is in you too. Anything anybody has, you can achieve if you just believe in yourself. And if you put in that work, you will get the same results. It might take you longer, might take you a shorter time. But in the end, if you're really truly passionate about it, you will get there. That is how it made it easier for me to see them with love. I've done this in the past where I'll like somebody and I'll, instead of admitting that I like them, I will in my head, bash them or be like, oh, you only got this because, or just being hateful. Waiting outside the club when you can't even get in. So realize that they're not more capable than you. They're just doing more. So once you've navigated all that, right? Once you've navigated all your insecurities, once you've just gotten that all the way, at the end of the day, you're still going to get a crush. You're still going to like somebody. Oh, why do I? Maybe because it happened to me. Hey, maybe. Okay. You're still going to like somebody. And that's okay. It doesn't necessarily mean, no, I can't have a crush on somebody. No, it's okay. Look at it with love. Every time you get that thought, I had explained this by that friend Maddie, she would be like, every time you get that thought of oh my gosh, I'm thinking about them, turn it into a thought of love. Turn it instead of being oh my gosh, they're with this girl, I'm so jealous. Hey, that girl, I bet she's amazing and beautiful and admirable, and I hope she's good. It takes a real level of maturity, but it also takes a deep level of understanding that this person, instead of comparing yourself to them, when it comes to jealousy, instead of comparing yourself to them, admire them and look at it with love and let the thought go, which is very difficult. I know, because I also did. It's very difficult, but the more you do it, the more it turns into a habit. It's very difficult at first because your brain wants to go to the comfort thoughts. It wants to go to fantasizing about them. It wants to go to being jealous. It wants to go to there. It wants to. And if you let it, it'll stay there. Now, this part is scary because once you actually have a crush and you realize, hey, I actually know this person. I'm getting to know this person. I actually like them for who they are. This is where it really starts to show if you learned or if you grew from your past delusional crushes. This is where it really starts to show, because it's almost like this test, right? If you don't act upon it, it's almost proving to yourself that you still don't believe you're good enough. You still don't believe that you should even have a conversation with this person. Once you start feeling like, this person's actually really interesting. Bro, especially if you're a girl, just take the chance, bro. Like, if you've gotten to know this person a little bit, you don't have to get to know them a bunch. You don't have to get to know them for months. Bro, ask them to hang out. Ask them to do something. Like, ask them for a couple. There was this guy I met. I talked to him every chance I got because I was like, screw it. I asked him to the movies. And mind you, this guy is like the opposite of me. Like, I fully expected to know. I was like, hey, I just want to experience rejection. I've never experienced rejection with a guy because I don't try. But like, I was just like, you know what? Hey, today's the day we experience rejection. Let's freaking go. He ended up saying yes. So many missed opportunities because we think that, like, I don't know, like, just so many missed opportunities we could have had in life, but we didn't act upon just because we thought we were going to be rejected. That is all I have to say. I am so passionate about this topic. I could go on for hours. Some of the key points. First, you want to surround yourself with people who you want to be like, and people who are only going to push you to be your best self. Second tip, identify what your crush is. If you are just attracted to the way somebody looks, just admire them from afar and walk away. Just admire them from afar. If you have unpacked that insecurity and you are confident within yourself, go for it, bro. Go try and make a connection, Go for it. What do you have to lose? You're not going to manifest that person by being in bed all day. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. So put yourself out there. Put yourself in the spaces that this person might be in and become that. Build hobbies, okay? Journal, okay? Read or listen to self-help podcasts or read amazing books, like I said in the past. Or like I said before, I'm going to link some below. And sit with yourself. Sit with yourself. Have that deep talk with yourself. Love yourself, okay? No, easier said than done, but hey, you can do it. If I can, you can. Act upon it. Act upon it. Act upon the crush. Act upon it. Just do it. Just do it. Yeah, that's all I have to say today. So, thank you. And I hope you have an amazing day making amazing choices and taking chances and living the life that you imagine all the time. You will. But you have to be uncomfortable.